Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new here. As you can tell by the title of the video, this is a super exciting, very jam-packed video. I'll be talking all about how we found out that we're pregnant, and I'll be doing my first trimester recap all in the same video. So this will be a long one. Grab some snacks, grab some drinks. I have my water with electrolytes. But yeah, I'll also have timestamps that include like different things like symptoms, weight gain, ultrasound, stuff like that. That way you can skip ahead, listen to what you want to listen to, ignore what you don't want to listen to. Yeah, I've just been very excited to share my pregnancy journey on YouTube. It's something that I often watch, and especially as someone who's like petite, so I'm only 5'2". I've always wondered like how people like go about like giving birth, like just the whole process. I just feel like it's very interesting, and obviously all us women have a slightly different pregnancy. Obviously we'll have like some symptoms to others, but each of us is going on this journey on our own, and it's unique to us. So I'm very excited, and I'm just gonna be sharing a little bit about my own journey. But of course, before we get into it, I'm not a doctor, and if I say like, oh, this is what I use, or this is what I did, that's just what I'm doing based on like what me and my doctors talk about, what I've done on my own time as far as research goes. I'm not saying that this is, any medical advice or anything like that. I just want to share my personal journey and just like what has worked for me. But let us get into it. Let's start from the very beginning. So my husband Terry and I started trying in November, and I've been off birth control for a couple of years now, and I just tracked my cycle using the Apple Health app. And so I knew like when I was ovulating and all that jazz. And then when I knew my period was supposed to start, I decided to take a test. It's funny, I will play the clip. So I did film myself like taking the test and like reading the results. I will say, as far as like early symptoms, my PMS is pretty particular. So like the week before my period starts, I have very particular PMS symptoms. And this time around, they were slightly different. So I was thinking, well, there's actually a chance that we could be pregnant. But of course, you just never know until you kind of start your whole trying to conceive journey, whether it'll be very easy for you to get pregnant or not. I wasn't like getting my hopes up like too much, of course, but I just had like an inkling like, okay, if I am pregnant, I'm not gonna be surprised. But yeah, so I'll roll that clip. It's not very long. So good morning. So I'm gonna take a test. I got it right here. Apparently these are like early detection tests, but my period was supposed to start today, and I haven't really had like a ton of PMS symptoms. Usually like I have really bad cramps. I was definitely a little bit moody, but I figured before I drink anything, and this is like in the morning, they say to just like take the test like first thing in the morning before you drink anything, so that's what we're gonna do. So we shall see. Okay, I had to wait like 5 minutes for the test, but I think that means I'm pregnant. It's kind of early, but I'm just gonna go and wake up Terry because we were really wondering, so this is the first month of us trying, so we were really wondering if it was gonna work on the first try, because it's like a 30% chance, but I mean, I can test again like tomorrow or like in the coming days, but I think I'm pregnant. Wow, this is really cool. So we knew that we were gonna start trying sometime around the end of last year. I started taking prenatals in February of last year, and I take the ritual ones, the citrus flavor, specifically the prenatals. I actually just started taking those because my cousin took those while she was pregnant, and that's what her nutritionist recommended, and I was like, sure, why not? I also really appreciate that they have iron in them, because a lot of the prenatal vitamins don't have iron. Just like another nutrient that you don't have to think about as much. I myself don't have any like dietary restrictions or anything like that. I'm not like low in anything, but I really have been enjoying those, and I have been taking those for, wow, I guess it's about a year now. My doctor said it was fine to just take them that early on, and she knew that I wasn't trying to conceive right away, so ask your doctor. So I did have Terry take a multivitamin 2 weeks leading up to when my ovulation window was gonna happen, so that, his sperm and everything was also good to go. And I actually put him on the ritual for men's daily vitamin. After I took the test, I immediately told Terry, this was like early in the morning, so I woke him up. He was pretty excited too, but didn't really do too much. And honestly, like I didn't have, like my ultrasound wasn't until much later in the first trimester. I was debating between like different hospitals and doctors, so this was just when my current doctor like was able to get us in, but it wasn't a big deal. So we actually didn't have our first ultrasound until week 13, which I know for a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, that's so early. I wasn't worried. I'm a very low risk pregnancy, and it wasn't, you know, like I didn't have any like weird symptoms. I didn't have like any like bleeding or anything like that would be alarming where I like felt like I had to see the doctor sooner. So honestly, it worked out for us because then by week 13 we could actually see a proper like baby, you know, on the ultrasound. So that was amazing. I'll insert like a picture of the ultrasound, but yeah, it was so cool. I did the NIPT, the NIP test, so I did my blood work, so that all came back normal. We did decide to find out the gender, and we know it, so we do know the gender. I'm just trying to find like a cute way to like announce it, but for now we're just gonna like keep that amongst ourselves and our inner circle. But we are like, we're obviously like so freaking thrilled. We would have been thrilled either way if it was, you know, like the opposite gender than what it is, but I don't know, we're just so like, we're very giddy about it. Okay, so let's get more into like some symptoms. So first things first, I didn't have any nausea or morning sickness. There was like a couple of times when I felt like a tiny bit like queasy, but that was only because I had gone like 4 or 5 hour stretches of time between not eating my previous meal. So I think that's kind of what it was, is more just kind of like hunger upset pains, because I was never like, oh God, I'm gonna throw up, you know? So I didn't have any of that, which was really great, and obviously I'm very, very grateful for. Definitely peeing all the time is a huge symptom that I have and I still have, which is like, you just have to deal with it, right? You know, constant new hormones going through, building a freaking human being. My bathroom habits have changed a little bit, so that's always fun dealing with, you know, like constipation, stuff like that. But that's a very real reality of being pregnant. Fun stuff. Also, like over Christmas, I was so tired. There were some days on the weekends I was taking like 2 really long naps and then also sleeping like 8 hours at night. So the exhaustion in the first trimester was something I wasn't prepared for, because that completely knocked me out. I'm definitely a lot better now as far as like that exhaustion goes, so that's really nice. I'm reading on my phone also just so I don't forget anything, but yeah, I didn't have any like weirdly strong food cravings. If anything, I've had like food aversions. Like in the beginning of my pregnancy, I was like really loving citrus, like lemonade's one of my favorite things to drink. And then like partially way through the first trimester, oranges were gross to me. I don't like anything super bitter, but I really like spicy things still. So like, you know, hot things like Frank's Red Hot, like spicy noodles, things like that. So yeah, unfortunately, I still don't like bitter things, alas. But it's also interesting because, and I don't really know how to describe it except for like when I eat something, it just doesn't taste as good. And I know it's just because of all the new hormones and things like that, but it's really frustrating for me as someone who like, I really enjoy food and I enjoy eating. And sometimes it's hard to enjoy the foods that I used to enjoy just because they don't taste as good, or like the good flavors just don't last. It's such a weird thing, but that like that's how I can like describe it. So it's just not as much fun eating and like eating out, I guess. Plain water was really gross too, so I really kind of struggled those first few weeks of just like not enjoying staying hydrated. So I did end up getting some electrolytes. So I take the Limit electrolytes. I just got like I did the sample box, and then now I have like a big box of them, but that really does encourage me to drink more water. And it has, you know, it has obviously like salt, sodium. It also has magnesium, and it also has potassium in it. So all those things are like super good for you, good for the baby, and it actually tastes really good. And it's funny though, because the orange salt flavor of their electrolytes, that tastes really good to me. But if I eat an orange, I don't like it. Or like drinking orange juice, no. So I don't know what it is, but yeah, electrolytes have definitely been my friend throughout all of this, especially the first trimester. Ooh, another weird symptom that I had was like gagging while I'm brushing my teeth. I use like a Sonicare toothbrush, but even if I like use a manual toothbrush, like brushing my teeth just like, it was so gross to me. And I'm very diligent about like my oral health, so like, you know, I'm always flossing every day. I do try to still brush my teeth twice a day, but there was a bit of time where I was like, oh, brushing my teeth is just like that would actually make me want to throw up. And I did switch, because my teeth are also sensitive, so I usually use like a sensitive toothpaste, but I did switch to like a fluoride-free toothpaste, and that actually did help. I still alternate them because my teeth are still pretty sensitive, but yeah. Luckily, nothing is actually wrong with my teeth or my gums or anything. I actually had a dental clean like a couple weeks ago and everything checked out, no cavities, so yay. I have a lot more earwax. I mean, these are just like weird symptoms, but I just thought I'd include them because they're like just things that I'm really taking notice of. Like, yeah, my ears create more earwax. Weird, I know. Also, a little bit of nosebleeds, not like obviously not like weird gushing nosebleeds, but just like a little bit more blood and stuff, which is also very normal, says the internet. I feel like I'm producing more mucus too. I am, like I said earlier, I'm 5'2". I'm pretty short, you know, and my doctor did say throughout the whole pregnancy, I am expected to gain between 25 and 35 pounds, which is expected for where I am on like the BMI chart. Before I was pregnant, my weight always teetered between like 105, 108. And then when I went in for that first ultrasound at week 13, I weighed 112, which is pretty on par because you don't really gain like too much weight in the first trimester, especially for women who like have really bad morning sickness and they can't keep any food down. So I feel like I'm pretty on track. I really don't weigh myself like week by week, and that's partially because my scale is a very cheap scale. It's like a $10 scale, and I personally don't know how accurate it is. Sometimes I weigh myself, but honestly, I prefer just to wait when I go to the doctor. I'm not really like worried about gaining weight. Obviously, I don't want to gain more than what is necessary for the baby and everything like that. But I'm also not like super restricting myself. I'm definitely trying to eat a lot more protein every day, which I was doing like beforehand anyways, you know. I eat pretty balanced anyways. I haven't really cut anything out. I'm not a caffeine drinker, so I don't drink coffee actually ever. Like, I don't drink alcohol. Like, maybe I'll have a couple of drinks throughout the year, but cutting that out wasn't a big deal. I don't smoke, so stuff like that. Like, I don't eat sushi regularly anyways. Like, that's just not a food that I enjoy. So yeah, my diet hasn't really changed. I still eat pizza, I still eat chicken tenders. I just try to eat less of these foods, of course. But yeah, I'm not like trying to restrict myself, obviously. Exercise. I did exercise like a little bit in the first trimester. I'll put the YouTube channel that I follow up. Her name is Fit with Sally, but she has a lot of really great prenatal workouts. I didn't have like a really strict routine. Mostly what I do try to do is like move, you know, try to get like 5,000 steps a day at least, you know, just like moving my body so that I'm like not constantly on the couch all the time. Like now that I'm in the second trimester, I'm definitely gonna like ramp that up, and then obviously the third trimester, because I know like exercise and certain moves and stretches will help you prepare for labor and stuff like that. So that's like stuff that I'll do like in preparation for labor. I didn't do like too much research. The book that I recommended in my 5 like pregnancy must-haves in the first trimester, The Real Food for Pregnancy by Lily Nichols. She's a registered dietitian. She really focuses in like conception, prenatal, and like postpartum health. So her book is honestly what I read, and like I really appreciate because she gathers all of the scientific studies, you know, and like she filters out all of like the crap ones, you know, and she kind of just lays it to you straight. And a lot of her advice I do take, and then some of it I don't take. So, you know, it's one of those, like, I think you should do your own research, you know, take what you want and then leave what you don't want. Her book has really just been like a really nice guide for me as far as like nutrition wise, and she does touch on some other things like exercise and just like other stuff. And she does have like a section about postpartum and like breastfeeding, which is going to be really helpful because I do plan on breastfeeding. I also didn't like worry that much in the first trimester, especially because it is so early on in the pregnancy. I didn't want to like psych myself out or anything like that. And I'm not really an anxious person, I would say. Like, I definitely worry sometimes about stuff, but I really just wanted to like stay calm, you know. Obviously, until that first ultrasound, there was a bunch of things that we just didn't know, and that's okay. And after the ultrasound, everything was good. Baby's developing perfectly, 10 fingers, 10 toes. I think we could see the heartbeat was really good. We could see the baby's bladder, like some other organs were forming, spine was looking good. So yeah, the baby is developing perfectly, everything is fine, test came back good to go. So that was a huge relief, but at the same time, I wasn't preparing for the worst either. I know that keeping my stress levels down will also help the baby, so I'm just enjoying it, and I really did just enjoy the first trimester as much as I could. And it went by so quickly. So today I am in my 15th week. I feel like not much has like changed in between like the last couple of weeks, but yeah, definitely excited. definitely starting to see like more of a baby bump. Maybe at that 13th week, I was like starting to see like a little bit of a bump. Now I can properly see a baby bump, but my belly button hasn't popped just yet, but I feel like that's gonna happen like the next couple of weeks. Anyways, that's pretty much my recap of the first trimester. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out. If I left something out, I'll just drop a comment, but yeah. Very curious if you're someone who had similar symptoms to me, or you've had like some other like unique symptoms that like you don't really hear about online. Always curious to hear about your own journeys. And then also if you're not pregnant, if you're not trying to conceive, thank you for watching. Like I said, like I personally just enjoy listening to people's pregnancy stories. I think it's kind of fun. So far, everything's been going really wonderful, and I just am very grateful that I'm healthy, baby's healthy, and very excited to see where the rest of the second trimester goes. We'll have our anatomy scan next month, and I think as long as everything is like looking good, I think that's gonna be the only other ultrasound that we'll have. At least that's as far as like what I've been told by my doctors and stuff like that. Thank you for watching my first trimester recap. Yeah, definitely let me know if you have any questions. There's a lot of other like videos that I do plan on making, like my skincare routine, if that's like changed in any way. I'll try to do like some clothing try-ons. I'm just now like kind of buying a few like maternity pieces because for the most part, I'm still able to wear what I wear. Like, you know, I wear like big sweatshirts anyways, and because it's winter, I wear like sweatpants, so I haven't really had to like invest in proper like maternity wear. Once I do like some pieces, I'll do like little try-ons and things like that because I think that's fun. That's everything that I can think of. I touch all my notes, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!